This week on Prof and Dev Play Games, you get to hear how Anthony and I are going to be pummeling our wallets into the earth. Stay tuned. All right, my friends, welcome to episode 477 of Prof and Dev Play Games. My name is Larry. I am a professor, and I am at Prof Plays Games over there on Blue Sky. He is Anthony. He is a game developer, and he is at Summer Speak on Blue Sky. Anthony, how are you this fine weekend?
I'm doing pretty good. Really good after yesterday.
Yesterday was quite amazing.
So excited. To spend money. So much money.
We're going to tell the audience exactly what we're going to be spending money on because Magic the Gathering and Final Fantasy are having a crossover. And that means that Anthony and I are losing all of our money.
Yeah.
We are very, very excited about this. We both love Magic. We both play Magic. We both love Final Fantasy. We both play Final Fantasy. I can't think of a better pairing.
Yeah. It's been a long time coming, it seems. There were some simple interviews. I think like IGN and other people interviewed some of the designers at PAX East as well after their presentation and was like, so who came to who and asked about this? And they're like, really, it was just kind of a right place, right time. Magic started doing their Universes Beyond stuff, and they had done like Lord of the Rings and were looking for other properties, and they were fans of Final Fantasy, but then they've also known and learned that a lot of Square Enix employees are big Magic players.
Oh man, that's awesome.
And so it just kind of worked out, and they're like, let's make this happen. And I think you see that in the cards preview, that there's a lot of love on all sides for the property.
Absolutely. So what Anthony and I are talking about in terms of some of the previews that we saw was yesterday, which was May 10th, over at PAX East. Ben Starr, who's the voice of Clive Rossfield from Final Fantasy 16, was the host for a Magic the Gathering panel around revealing some cards from the Final Fantasy set for the first time. And it was, man, Ben Starr really did a great job leading that.
He better not have any skeletons in his closet. I'm so sad.
I hope not. He seems like a really good dude.
He does. He seems generally presents himself humble, very silly. I mean, God, he's the Balatro Joker. He goes to the BAFTAs in full-on Joker cosplay to accept awards. You're like, you have to have some level of just silliness baked into yourself. I hope. He's one of the people I'm like, please don't turn out to be an asshole somehow. No one said anything, and it seems like all the people he worked with love working with him. So, I'm going to take that. That's what I'm taking. I'm taking face value here. Seems like a cool guy. Great at running panels. Great at just keeping energy up and moving stuff along. As well as, seems like a very good voice actor. Clive was great. And that seems to have kicked off his entire career a lot.
Absolutely. Yeah, because then he moved into first Berserker Kazan and then Expedition 33.
Yep. Heard him in another thing recently, too, and I'm like, what? There's another Ben Starr showing up. He's going to be the next Matt Mercer.
This panel basically started with Final Fantasy 1 and ran through Final Fantasy 16, previewed a couple of cards from each set. And we wanted to go through them, talk about our hype level for them, talk about what we saw, what we liked, how we feel they're interfacing between Final Fantasy and Magic the Gathering, and then talk about some of the stuff that we are excited for launching, which is a couple weeks away from launch of this set. Why don't you lead us through, if you don't mind, since you found the site that has it in order?
Yeah, so, I mean, they just started from 1 to 16, and they showed some cards that had been previewed before. Garland had been previewed. It's another pretty common thing in this set, and they talked about it, was that they're double-faced Magic cards that flip. So you have one side is a creature character, and then something happens and triggers it, or a player plays an ability and it flips over and it's a whole new backside that does a thing, which totally doesn't surprise me they would do this because they want to show character arcs, and character arcs are such a big part of really RPGs, not even just Final Fantasy. So they want to show the characters going on a journey. And it's interesting with Final Fantasy 1 because as far as I can tell, Garland's the only named character they've previewed or shown.
Yeah,
There's not a lot of straight named characters in Final Fantasy 1. Few.
No, especially as you can rename the characters, and I don't know.
You're generic heroes of the Warriors of Light.
Exactly right.
Like so one actually I'm noticing he gets a lot of like Garland's there, who flips into chaos in the end, which totally fits. But they have like white mage's staff and black mage's rod, which are equipment that you play them and then they create a token 1/1 hero, then attach the equipment to them, like making them a cleric or a wizard.
Well, I love that mechanic because it says job select. Like we are kind of emulating that in the tabletop, which is really just a nice nod to. I mean, you could pick your job in 1, but you couldn't change your job in 1 until 3.
And this is a similar mechanic. They've done not 1/1 heroes, but they've done equipment that creates tokens before. So this just fits, like they've rethemed it for Final Fantasy.
Right, exactly.
Like, a lot of the stuff they've just rethemed for Final Fantasy, which is good.
If you have things that work for the mechanics of Final Fantasy, why not?
And I love that. And it sounds like they're going to have, like the ones I just talked about, White Mage's staff and Black Mage's rod are keyed to Final Fantasy 1, but they show other stuff that is Final Fantasy 14 jobs, and which that's exactly how you pick a job in Final Fantasy 14. It's the weapon you use or your equipment. So makes total sense, and I assume they're going to have a whole collection of these for most of the famous jobs. We'll see a few more as we go on. But yeah, 1 got that. Just some pretty standard stuff there. There's another card that was previewed today that we'll get to at the end. That is keyed to Final Fantasy 1, because I also think they're going to use the world of Final Fantasy 1. A lot of places from just the themes and the core of Final Fantasy that was set in that game, but kind of, not shockingly, generic at the time. Right. But then they moved into 2, and they didn't do a lot with 2, but they got 2 cars.
Awesome shit with 2.
They
had a little bit of runway, and they did a lot of cool stuff with it, in my view.
I mean, you got Firion, which is cool.
The head character. I mean, you have a party of 4, obviously, but that's the kind of the head of the rebels on your side.
It's really good. 3 mana for a 3/3 red. Human rebel warrior. That fits.
And equipped creatures have haste.
Seems like a perfect fit into an equipment deck. And we just talked about equipment above, where they come in and create tokens and heroes, and then Firion's there, and just now they all have haste. And then does a weird thing. Whenever a non-token equipment you control enters, so the card enters, create a token that's a copy of it. So let's say it's White Mage's staff. It would come in, it would create its 1/1 hero attached to it, but then Firion would create a copy of that equipment that would create another 1/1 hero equipped to it. But then the equipment gets destroyed at the end of turn.
Right.
But the token, the hero stays.
So interesting. And then that equipment's abilities cost 2 less to activate.
2 less to activate.
Just like put it on to the next person, because those ones we were just talking about, the staff and the rod, are 3 to activate, so it'd be down to 1.
Yeah.
And then just attach it to a new person.
Yeah, it's really cool.
But then the next one, I lost my shit when it came. I ran up to the screen, I took pictures of it, and my daughter was like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I know you haven't played Final Fantasy 2, but this is hilarious." There's a scene where you go and there are beavers. You have to talk to the beavers, and then your guy, whose name is Guy, who talks really weird, talks to the beavers and tells you what he's
Guy
supposed to say.
speak beaver.
Guy speak beaver is the flavor text on here. Just amazing. Like,
It is really good.
It was so nice to see that so early on, because that's such a deep cut maybe is not quite the right term, because it stands out from Final Fantasy 2, but like there's no reason to put this in there unless you're a Final Fantasy fan. And it's just like, oh, this whole set is in good hands.
Oh yeah. Yeah. But that was really it from 2 so far. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a few more characters, but
yeah, I would think that you would need a couple folks from your party, specifically.
But we'll see. We have many weeks for more previews and stuff. Then we had 3, and they didn't. So 3 was weird. They didn't show much at all from 3. They used it as the crystal. They a jumping off point that say, hey, we're doing this cycle of crystal. And for people who don't play Magic, a cycle means that they're doing a similar card in each color. So all 5 colors get a crystal, which fits for Final Fantasy.
Yep.
And it's each color of mana. The darkness crystal does the black spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. They said that each of them will have that effect for their respective mana. But then they each have 2. They have a static ability. It's like if something happens, something will happen. And then they have a paid ability triggered that you can pay to activate and do something crazy. 3 seems to be probably the right game for these to be themed around.
Oh, absolutely. Yep. This is the one that I'm playing right now, and this makes perfect sense.
Yeah, and they're like, how do we do which crystals do we do? I'm like, yeah, it's probably right. 3 is the one that you do the crystals. And it's exciting. Again, like very flavorful. Fits the Magic. Honestly, these will get a ton of play probably in, I don't know if they'll hit standard, but they'll probably be played in Commander pretty well because they make your spells cost less, and that is really good.
That's really important, absolutely.
Yeah, and they showed some nice arts on all these. And then you got Adventurer's End, which is a new land town. So they have a whole cycle of towns that are just iconic places. Lands are, of course, important to Magic. And they're just like, hey, there's a lot of important, even generic, some lands are not generic, as we get into previewing, in the cards, and they wanted to get that. And the first one was Adventurer's Inn. Which, when it comes in, you gain 2 life, which is what an inn does. And then it can tap for some colorless mana.
I know, I love it. Like, you come in, you get your life back. I love the flavor text. Welcome.
Yeah.
We have room for 200 gil a night. Would you like to stay and rest your body and mind? Which is exactly what it says in the game.
Yep, and that, it was neat. Like, again, the flavor is on point. They know what they're doing. They clearly care.
Yep.
I did love that the panel went through their favorite Final Fantasies at the beginning. There was, what was it, 9?
9,
and then 10, 2. I loved how he referenced that 10,
comma 2.
Oh, comma 2. Yeah.
So that's my favorite. Is he saying TOO or TWO?
TO.
Yeah, okay. Like not 10, but then Ben Starr was like, "Oh, the best girls road trip or whatever." I was like, "Does Ben Starr think he meant 10-2 or 10, comma 2?"
I have to rewatch. Yeah,
it was confusing.
But we're not going to get any 10-2 in here. Although I still hold out, we might get a secret layer for 10-2. For Riku and Pain.
Oh my God! Secret layer around Final Fantasy.
They've already said there are going to be a few.
Okay, that's fuck.
And I'm wondering. I'm guessing that they're non-main. They're the most popular non-mainline games. So I bet there's a Final Fantasy Tactics secret layer.
Sure, absolutely.
10-2 secret layer. Theoretically, I would love to see if they do the artist spotlights. I bet there's an Amano secret layer.
Oh yeah, even though he's doing some art for the main set.
Oh yeah, they're just like here. And the thing is with secret layers, a lot of times they're reprints of old cards.
Yeah.
So his art on old cards.
That'd be great.
That would be my thought.
So that would not necessarily be a Final Fantasy theme. That would just be his art on some other stuff.
Yeah, and maybe their Final Fantasy themed art or anything with like the this card is this old card, but with a different name. We'll get to some of those too because they do that. They're doing that in this set.
Yeah.
But yes, a lot of cool stuff there. Then we get to 4, and they only showed one card with 4 in it. It's who I thought they would show. Kane. And I would never want to play this card in Standard, but I want to play it in Commander. So Kane is like is when people think of the shot of what a Dragoon is, like perched 1 foot on a spire, it's Kane. That's Kane. That's where that look came from. Back in Final Fantasy IV, the Dragoon. But Kane, I guess spoilers, is an asshole.
Yeah.
And is a traitor. And so it's a really cheap creature to play. 3 mana, 2/4. When he deals combat damage to a player, so when he hits a player, the player you hit gets control of Kane. And when they do, you get cards for how much damage you dealt, and you get treasure tokens. And then you lose that much life as he stabs you on the way out.
Well, as soon as this card came out and they announced what it did, my daughter was like, I don't want to play that card. It's just like Alexios from Assassin's Creed, which is exactly right. As soon as he does combat damage, you lose control of it. Because he's basically...
You get a lot of benefit from this one, though.
You do, yeah. That's true. You draw cards, but then you lose life.
Treasure. Yeah. I would
so
lose some.
In Commander, you could spend that resource.
I would lose some life for that. At minimum, 2 cards and 2 treasure tokens.
Yeah.
That's really good for 2 life. And then be like, I'm sure I have a card that can be like, and now kill Kane.
Well, I was wondering if when he does combat damage to you, you get it back.
Yeah, you would.
Yeah, right.
This card would just bounce around the table.
Yeah. Yep.
It would just be hilarious.
It's great because that's how mercenaries work, man. They're like, whatever, whoever I go, I'm just going to whoever pays me the most.
Yeah.
4 and 5 is where I don't have any familiarity with those stories at all. So I was
really 5. Then they previewed 5, and I was so happy we get Gilgamesh, and Gilgamesh was introduced in 5. And I figured we either get Final Fantasy V's Gilgamesh or 14's Gilgamesh.
And are they the same Gilgamesh?
Yes, kind of. Gilgamesh has been like every game since 5, I think.
Interesting.
And there's been weird lore and stuff he says where he's like interdimensional. Like, in theory, it's the same Gilgamesh.
Mm-hmm.
Who's just jumping between these different universes.
I guess I remember him in 7. Was he in 7?
He's in 7, yeah. Optional boss. Always optional. Always.
Yeah. Okay.
He's in 7 remake. Not remake. He's in Rebirth.
Oh. Fuck. I wonder if I just didn't notice or...
You just never did the open world stuff. You skipped all of it.
Yeah. For the most part.
Yes. It was the Ancient Relics quests in each...
Oh, wait. I did that. Wait, did I do that? No, I did the pirate quest thing. Never mind.
Yeah, no. It was the Ancient Relic ones, and then you have to play the Fort Condor game each time. Exactly.
Okay. No.
But Gilgamesh is behind all that.
Got it. Okay.
But yeah, I was, again, lore hit. I was happy that I figured when they talked about how they determined like what they're going to put in, I'm sure I was like, Gilgamesh is going to be in here somewhere. And yeah, another red equipment based thing. Lets you just look at the top 6 cards of your deck, any equipment cards from among them, not into your hand, just right onto the battlefield.
Right on the battlefield, man. Hell yeah. And then you can attach one to a samurai.
And shockingly, he's a samurai.
Weird.
Weird. Yeah, actually, probably one of my favorite fights in 12 is Gilgamesh. It's one of the hunts. And you have to...
Okay.
It's multiple hunts. You do it, and it just keeps going. You have to fight him multiple times, and you can steal unique armor from him.
Oh,
But
wow.
every time, like, he goes through a phase when you're fighting him, he pulls out a new sword, and they have the Buster Sword, they have Tidus's main sword from 10.
Oh, shit.
Like, it's just all these swords. He's just
He
pulling
is
out sword.
interdimensional.
Yes, it's hilarious.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
Yeah. And then they previewed Bartz and Boko, who Bartz is like the main character of 5 with his chocobo, Boko.
Oh, how sweet.
And this is just crazy because now there's a bird deck because Bartz and Boko
Affinity
has
for
affinity
birds,
for
man.
birds.
Yeah.
So let's build that chocobo deck. And yeah, when it enters, each other bird you control deals damage equal to its power to target creature an opponent controls. So your birds just peck the crap out of your enemies. Yep. It's hilarious. I'm sure someone's going to now take this and build a bird commander deck.
Absolutely. God, that's going to be great. I'm very excited about that.
And then we get to 6, and now the first card they preview here, and what I'm so excited for, is Amano's doing new art for Final Fantasy VI characters that they've shown so far. Maybe more characters, but he's doing a new Terra and a new Kefka. And they look incredible. I'm excited that he's just like, yeah, I'm going to redraw these characters. I haven't drawn them in decades.
Yeah, right, forever.
And let's do this. And they're both flip cards. They kind of just follow their stories about, like, just when they're super powerful. Terra Magical Adept becomes Esper Terra, which I guess we can get how doing summons in this as well.
I love how they're doing summons as sagas.
Yeah, the saga creatures. It's such a crazy... It fits. It fits really well.
It's perfect. It really is.
Because they stick around only for a certain amount of time. Terra flips into Esper Terra, and then normally the sun would just go away when the saga's over. They would just be destroyed. But all the ones that are tied to characters just have you flip them back to their front side. So Terra becomes unpowered again. But with a bunch of mana.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. 2 of each. It's a total of 10 mana. Holy shit.
So for Commander, because of her backside having each of those mana symbols, her color identity is all 5 colors.
Yep.
So she's a 5-color commander. And I think you could probably make some...
You would use the flip side as your commander. So that...
No, you can't use the flip side. But a card's color identity is every mana pip that appears on it, front or back.
Well,
anywhere in its text box.
Yeah, I guess what I'm asking is Terra Magical Adept 1 and then a red-green. That's your commander, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But and then you can transform your commander later into Esper Terra, right?
Yeah, I mean she's just a card, as a commander.
Yeah.
But you can include all 5 colors in your deck.
Oh yeah, of course. But then
that's color identity. Different then.
Yeah, but I thought you had said you couldn't use her as a commander. I was like, yeah, I think you can.
No, you can. You just can't use her backside. Like
no. You got to use the
you got to flip her.
Yeah, you got to flip her. When you add that, do you add it just for that turn? Add the mana just for that turn?
Exile. I mean, so this would happen. Sagas happen at your upkeep.
Right.
So yeah, you would have it for that turn until I don't remember when mana fizzles anymore.
I wonder because sometimes you can hold. You can hold
it until a certain phase, like its phase changes. So I don't know if you hold it until combat, and when combat starts, it fizzles, or if it's at the end of combat, it goes away. You would at least have it for one main phase,
right?
To have 10 mana, 2 of every color, go to town, play something insane.
Holy shit, that's crazy! I love this.
And yeah, this is standard set stuff. Everything we've talked about is standard set. They previewed one commander set, which is the Chocobo symbol, is the commander symbol.
Yep.
A new summer Valagarmonda, which is just an escalating. Like, you play it, you get to exile an instant or sorcery card from each graveyard. So, in Commander, 4 cards out, instants or sorceries. And then you just escalate getting free red mana. And you can cast any of those exiled cards with any color mana can be spent to cast them.
So
you're just going to cast the worst spells that the opponents have played.
Well, at the end of this, you'd have 3 red mana lore counters on the saga, right? By the time you're at 4th?
Yes.
Chapter? Yeah.
Yeah. It'd be crazy. Yeah, you would go. Yeah. Then you got the Kefka thing, where he's the court mage, and he flips to be the ruler of ruin. The card design is just really, really neat. I mean, yeah, his base ability is like when he enters or attacks, each player discards a card, even you. Then you draw a card for each type among cards discarded this way.
What an interesting way to do card draw.
Yeah, you're like, that could be a lot of card draw. Or it could be very little, but it is like this weird little mini game going on. They even said it's kind of a mini game.
Yeah.
Sorry,
you spend 8. Yeah, spend 8. Everyone sacrifices a permanent of their choice, and then you transform Kefka into the Kefka Ruler of Ruin, 5/7 flying. And then when an opponent loses life during your turn, you draw that many cards. It's just card draw all over the place with this card.
It's so much card draw.
Oh my god, it's awesome.
Even if he just gets in, it's 5 at that point. Yeah. Just like, I hit you and I draw 5 cards. But if you do any other kind of life loss during that time, he's red. You could just lightning bolt him for 1 mana, 3. A lightning bolt becomes a draw 3. Do 3 damage, draw 3. Have fun.
Well, this says opponent loses life, so that's like not the creatures, right, but the actual player.
Yeah, just lightning bolt it. Yeah, just right to their face. But I mean, 1 mana, 3 damage, 3 cards. You're going to end games very fast if he stays on this side too long. So we made through 6. They kind of sped through all that, which isn't shocking. And then they sat on 7 for a little bit because, well, it's 7, and 7 is probably the most popular Final Fantasy at this point, especially with the remakes. But yeah, it's what you would expect. We get a Cloud. Cloud cares all about equipment. You can just play him and search for any old equipment card in your deck and put it in your hand. And then he makes equipment trigger multiple times if they're attached to him. So
can you explain that to me a little bit? What the benefit of triggering multiple times is? Is it
if there's triggered stuff on it? Like, let's say there's an equipment that's like that's attached to Cloud. That's like when this creature equipped creature attacks. I'll just make something up. Deal 2 damage to an opponent. Mm-hmm. He'd make that happen twice.
Got it.
So there's definitely a type of equipment that you want to put in this deck. That ones that, hey, whenever you do something else happens, trigger another ability. You don't want just raw stat increases. You want fun gameplay things, but usually those are the ones that, like, if you were starting to double those, you'd break the game real fast. So yeah, he's in white right now, but that doesn't surprise me because most big equipment stuff is red-white, so I feel like he's part of some equipment deck that's going to exist.
Oh, hell yeah, absolutely.
And then they of course previewed him, and then Tifa, the main set Tifa. 2 mana, 1/2, tramples. You're like, why? That's low stats for trample. Whenever a land you controlled enters, double Tifa Lockhart's power until end of turn. It's landfall. You can actually do weird things to get multiple land triggers on the turn.
I was going to ask that because I would think that you'd only have 1 per turn, but that's not true.
Evolving Wilds
tutors
exists. Fable Passage, anything that's like let's say Evolving Wilds. You play it, and then you tap, so that's 1 land trigger. Then you tap it, sack it to search your deck for a basic, and put it onto the battlefield.
There's 2. Yeah.
There's 2. There's other cards that let you put multiple lands, even in standard right now, let you put multiple lands onto the battlefield tapped. So landfall is a thing you can abuse. You just have to build to it. Like, she doesn't live in every deck. You build a deck around landfall. And get all the bonuses from that, and one of the bonuses is the Tifa just gets real big real fast. because she doubles. Every time you bring that, it just doubles and doubles and doubles. And you could hit someone for a lot.
And it tramples.
And it tramples.
Yeah.
Because of course it does.
And it's fucking Tifa. I just want to build a Tifa deck. Give me a Tifa deck.
With Commander one, you can just swap her right out to be your commander in that precon.
Yeah, I know. It's. I was wondering who the backup commander was going to be because Cloud's the face, and it's Tifa. I was like, hell yes! Oh man, I'm so excited.
Yeah. Of course, you get Aerith.
Yep.
Which is all about life gain, and it's great. Life gain, counter, +1/+1 counters. But when she dies, she empowers the rest of the team.
I love that mechanic. It's so
good.
So
you're like, oh yeah, that's right though.
Yep, absolutely.
Again, on point. I should also say the art is really good overall.
I was going to say that it's Laurel Austin's credited as the Tifa one here, the main set Tifa, and it's a different style than I'm used to for Tifa's face specifically, but it looks really good. And then fucking Aerith is like anime Aerith and looks awesome.
Yeah, and of course, if there's Cloud, there's Sephiroth. He was flipped and is Sephiroth Fabled Soldier or Sephiroth One-Winged Angel. And if you ever play Sephiroth, you have to just you have to do One-Winged Angel, and just every time you play him, you have to go Sephiroth.
Yeah.
You have to. It's a requirement.
God, great. I love the art here.
People are going to hate me when I play this at work or anything. Because I'm going to do that every time. And they're like, shut up. And I'm like, I can't. Like, but yeah, go ahead.
Two things. One, the art, when you flip it over, it looks like it's two different pieces of art, but they showed it was one piece of art showing like young Sephiroth moving all the way up to the One-Winged Angel. And then it said Sephiroth is only the second creature in Magic the Gathering history to confer an emblem to a player.
Yep. That's pretty much a planeswalker thing.
Yeah, interesting.
Creatures don't tend to do that. There is a type of deck called Aristocrats. It is a type, one of the many deck archetypes over the past 25 years or longer. And it's all about making lots of creatures, small, little, tiny creatures. Usually it's white and black. And it's all about creating little creatures and then killing them. But when you kill them, things happen.
Yeah.
And that's what Sephiroth does. He lets you just like, hey, whenever another creature dies, not even your creature, any creature dies, target opponent loses 1 life, and you gain 1 life. Just pings. It's a Blood Artist trigger. The Blood Artist is the card that originally did this.
When you're sitting there in a 4-person commander game, and they're going at each other, and you're like, great. You lose life, and I gain life.
Yep. And if it's the 4th time that happened in a turn, he transforms into One-Winged Angel, which gives you an emblem that just does what that is. That exactly. Whenever a creature dies, and there's no way to interact with emblems. Now you permanently just have that when creatures die.
There's no way that you can divest someone of it. They keep
it
forever.
I have never heard of. I don't have enough Magic lore, but I'm pretty sure there's no way that emblems get messed with. They are just permanently there. But then whenever Sephiroth attacks, you may sacrifice any number of your creatures. Which, in an Aristocrats deck that this would go in, you want free sack outlets. Yeah. The thing is, you don't just get the sack and then do all that life gaining and pinging of different players. You get that number of cards as well. You just get to draw that many.
Yep. You deal damage to people. Dumb. You gain life and then you draw cards. It's fucking
I want this
broken.
So bad. So Aristocrats is one of my favorite archetypes. I love playing Aristocrats.
That's cool.
And this card, I'm like, yep, immediately. I need Sephiroth. But as a commander, you have to make a mono black, and I don't think I would do that. I think you need the white as well. So I feel like he's not typically a commander in the night, but he's in the 99.
This is saying the first card that had emblem was from the AC deck, which I don't never seen this card, the Capitoline.
Oh, the Triad. Yeah. That's right.
And that emblem is creatures you control have base power and toughness of 9/9. Jesus.
Yes. The Triad's pretty great.
That's a 10 mana to bring out.
Read how it's reduced.
Oh, is it reduced? I didn't read it.
If you read,
This spell costs one less for each historic card in your grid. Oh, Jesus. Okay.
Yes. You can build a deck around that stupid thing.
For sure.
Yeah, actually, that's one of the cards that's on my eventual to get list, just because it's neat.
Yeah, that is neat.
But yeah, that was what they showed for 7. It was good stuff. It was the big hits that I would expect.
Well, we didn't see a lot. We didn't see Kate Sith. We didn't see Barrett.
Nope.
We didn't see
Nope.
Yuffie or Vincent, and we're going to see them all.
Yeah. I wonder if Matt Mercer is going to be doing a preview.
Oh shit! Are we showing the Vincent card?
Yeah. Where to find?
That would be cool. Sephiroth. God damn it!
Yeah, pretty much.
God, that stuck in my head. Sephiroth. I made my wife listen to that a few times in the car with my daughter, and she's just like, I can't do this anymore. Oh, man. Dun, dun, dun.
See. I would... Oh, come on. I thought I saw that maybe Mercer was actually...
If he is, he's definitely doing Vincent.
Oh, there he is. Matt Mercer, May 14th.
Oh, fuck yes.
I bet it's Vincent.
No doubt in my mind.
Yeah, it's going to be on his Blue Sky social.
Very cool.
So yeah, he gets to yeah, it's got to be Vincent, right?
I'd be shocked if it was anyone else.
Yeah. And then we moved to 8. And they didn't show a ton in 8, but they showed a couple things. One, well, they showed Squall. Squall's fun. I'll say that.
I love his rough divide. Whenever a creature you control attacks alone, it gets double strike.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And yeah, that seems... it's probably going to be him a lot of times. There's a mechanic in... that's been in previous sets called Exalted, which is when a creature attacks alone, it gets +1/+1 for each Exalted card you have.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
You just build an Exalted deck with him as your commander. You just have all these cards that just there's like, okay, he's going to attack alone, and he's going to get like +8/+8, and he double strikes now. Yep. You better block him, make him unblockable. He's a huge target at that point. Total Voltron commander deck, but I think they did him right. But they also did Renoa and Angelo right. I can't believe they did the Angelo canon. Renoa's limit break in 8 is her dog, Angelo, jumps on her arm, and then she shoots him off of the wrist cannon at the enemy.
God.
It's the most ridiculous thing, limit break. And they did it. So when Renoa Hartley comes into play, she creates Angelo, a legendary 1/1 green and white dog creature token. And whenever she attacks, another creature you control gets +1/+1 until the end of turn. Which
you're basically just shooting that 1/1 onto them.
Yep. It's so good. It's such a stupid flavor thing that they did. And I love it.
So good.
And then they did, the only other one from 8 they previewed was Ultimisia, who is the big bad.
Yeah.
And she's also a flip 1. Which, uncommon. So the interesting thing with this is, they've never done an extra turn spell at uncommon, and she does. So she's a flip creature. If she comes down, whatever, she's there. 8 mana, you flip her over. When you flip her over, you get to take an extra turn. So it's just 8 mana, take an extra turn.
Yeah, so
on a body.
Price. Yeah.
On a body. Extra turns are never cheap. So this one's more expensive. But she's also, when she flips, becomes a 7/7 menace, so you're probably not blocking her.
Nope.
And she's hitting you for 7. And you get an extra turn. It's a hefty price, but very flavorful. Because she is omnipotent. So yeah.
My neighbor loves the next reveal.
Vivi, a 9?
Yep.
It's a good card. It's a really good card.
Yeah.
Yeah, Vivi, or I don't even know Vivi had a last name.
I didn't either. Yeah. Or Nidier, or Nidier.
Or Nidier, yeah.
Add X mana in any combination of blue or red, where X is Vivi's power. And she starts off at 0. So then you can just, the X is how much you want to pump into that.
Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, put a +1/+1 counter on V.
Yep.
So you just passed a lot of cheat. So the interesting thing here is, let's say Vivi's 3, 1, a blue, and a red. So turn 3, you play Vivi. Okay, there's your mana. Turn 4, if Vivi's still around, turn 4 hits, and you're like, fine, play land, I have 4 mana. Here's 4 1-cost spells.
Yeah.
So I've now played 4 instants or sorceries. That is 4 damage to each opponent just from playing those. Vivi now is a 4/7.
4/7, yeah.
But now you can do 0 mana. Give me 4 mana of blue or red for me to do something else.
That's wild.
Dump your hand. You just need a card draw somehow. You're going to burn through cards so fast.
Yeah.
But blue has a lot of card draw, so...
Well, this is a legendary.
I think you're going to build a mythic.
Mythic, thank you, mythic.
Yeah. Oh yeah, this card's going to be worth a fair, because I think this is an actual just straight competitive card. There's going to be standard decks built with this card, and it's going to be really fast and really dumb. Good job, Vivi. You're going to be. I want to see a Vivi deck win a Pro Tour.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, it's really, really, really strong. And I'm sure your neighbor is very excited.
So excited.
Stupid things that they'll be able to do with this card. But then this is where they actually showed how they were going to do the magic spells. Because every Final Fantasy, you got your fire and blizzard and arrow, thunder, all those. They previewed 2 today. I know fire was here, and I think was ice in the preview.
I didn't see ice.
Okay, so ice did get previewed at some. Yeah, okay. So fire was here, and then ice is also shown doing the same thing. There's a base cost to play. Fire is 1 red, and it's just like, hey, at its base, it is fire magic deals 1 damage to each creature. And then, so it's a tiered mechanic. You can choose when you play it an additional cost. 0 mana. That's its base. For 2 mana, it's Fira. Fire magic deals 2 damage to each creature, and then 5 mana Firaga deal 3 damage to each creature. It's a great way to just combine all these onto 1 card.
Yeah.
And really, options are great. I think that makes these somewhat more playable in general, because I doubt you're ever spending the 6 mana to do Firaga that often. But, hey, if you have a bunch of mana open, you're like, alright.
It's a bunch of creatures you want to try to take down at once.
Yeah, and you're just like, fine, I'll use this thing. I have mana open. But it just has flexibility. And all of them, the ice one had a lot of stuff. It was the normal blue stuff of it was return creature to its owner's hand as its base. If you did Blizzara, it was your opponent chooses to put it on the top or bottom. The permanent you bounce up, they can put it on the bottom or top of their deck. And if you do Blizzaga, it was they shuffle it into their deck.
Oh, well.
So, they're fun. I can't wait to see what the other elements are. I think they're just fun cards. Neat way to do it. Oh man, they did a lot of justice for 9. They got Kuja here, big protagonist, but he's building the army of black mages is kind of his thing. And yeah, he just comes in and he's like, here, I'm going to make a 0/1 black wizard. But these wizards he creates, whenever you cast a non-creature spell, this token deals 1 damage to each opponent. Actually, exactly kind of what Vivi has on his text box. But every instep, you're just getting more black wizards. Black mages. And they're doing this, and when you have 4 or more wizards, and Kuja is a wizard, so not many turns, he'll flip over, and if a wizard you control would deal damage to a permanent or player, it deals double that instead. So all those things, instead of hitting for 1 now, are hitting for 2, plus if you have other wizard... I mean, he's a wizard. Kuja is a wizard, so...
3 others.
He's just going to be... I think this is another I think there's probably a deck around this Rakdos Black Red. It's the name for Black Red is Rakdos. There's a deck here somewhere that is just gonna burn people super fast. And you don't really tend to see that in these colors. Red, of course, you usually see red-blue. Is it blue-red kind of stuff? Mm-hmm. You rarely see it out of the black-red combination. So I think there's going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited for this one. Again, art's really cool.
Especially that second card, the showcase card.
Yeah.
These showcase cards are nice because they're in front of like the Roman numerals.
Yes.
Which my daughter calls Final Fantasy numbers because she doesn't know Roman numerals.
Yes!
It's amazing.
Do not correct this ever.
I didn't. We went to, I forget where we were, but they had a clock, an analog clock, and it had Roman numerals instead of numbers. And she's like, Daddy, I said, what time is it? She's like, Daddy, I can't read Final Fantasy numbers. And I just about lost it. Oh my God, it was great. Oh. But no, art's amazing.
Yeah. I only get to 10. And they definitely spent some time on 10 as well. Not shocking, because I think 7 and 10 are probably, like, the most popular. 10 is incredibly 14, odd. Yeah, 14 is a consistent thing, but I would say from, like, a character standpoint, 7 and 10 are the ones that have the characters that are just like, yep, people know these characters. People that don't even play these games know these characters.
Yeah.
And yeah, we got Yuna. Yuna's also in the commander decks. There's a commander version of her. But as I expected and was hoping, she's very good with all these saga creatures.
Yeah.
Enchantments. She just wants to get enchantments and play enchantments. And shockingly, the saga creatures are enchantments. So, yeah, it's really, really cool. I really like it. I really like her alternate art a lot. Yeah, I'm going to have every single one of these. By God.
Oh, yeah. We're gonna be, like I said at the beginning, we're going to be spending a lot of money on this set because there's just so many great cards that have flavor that tick back to the games that we played. Even, I'm just so thankful that I'm playing through Final Fantasy because when the cards hit from the games that I played, it meant so much to me. And I was like, man, if I had played all these other ones, I would be more in heaven. So, and this is the first one, a land with a adventure tag.
Yeah, this is a cycle. They said that this is the first. There's 5 of these lands, one for each color, and they're adventures. Which for people who don't play Magic it's a card that you play 2 ways. You can play it for its adventure. Side, which is like a small little box that's like play it on your turn, do a thing, and then it goes into exile and you can play it from exile later in the game. These are lands though, so you play the adventure side if you have the mana. This one's like 6 mana and it creates one big hero creature token, but then it just goes to exile, and if you need a land you can just put the land into play, and if it's early game before you have that mana you just need land, you can just play it as land.
Yeah.
These are going to see a lot of play, just because flexibility. People just like flexibility in their lands.
Well, and they Tarkov. Am I saying that right? Tarkov, the recent one.
Tarkir.
Thank you.
Tarkov is a very different beast.
Exactly, like it's an extraction shooter now.
Oh no,
wrong. But Tarkir had these kind of cards where, like, on the one side, the left side, like, you could spend a lot to do a really cool thing, but if you weren't there at this point in the game, the right side had a cheaper thing that you could do.
Correct.
And just the flexibility of those cards is cool, but they were not lands. These are lands. That's very cool.
This is really good.
But once you once you bring it in as a land, you can't then use the left side later, can you?
You can't use the adventure.
That's what I thought.
That's the sacrifice. It's just like, hey, early game, you feel like you might be like mana starved.
Yep.
These are great. You'll just fine. I'll use it as a land. It comes in tap, but whatever. I need the land.
Yep.
But if you're draw this late game and you already have a bunch of mana, you're like, fine. I do this big effect. It goes into exile, and then immediately, if you haven't played a land for turn, you can just put it in play as a land.
Yeah.
Like there's not. I'm just like, this is just. It's really good, and it's actually a really, really creative way on the design team to push more for lands that allow you to have a little bit more feeling of agency over your lands, as opposed to just being in those positions where you're like, well, cool. I'm only drawing land, or I'm not drawing any land. You know those Magic games. That happens.
Oh, yeah. All the time.
Yep. And I think the design team for a few years has been working hard to try to, like, through the design of cards, let people mitigate that with interesting things. And this is perfect for doing it. We got Bahamut, which new summon comes in. It's the Saga. It ticks up. Its fourth tick is dumb.
I love the fourth one. Oh my god.
This creature deals damage equal to the total mana of other permanents you control to each opponent. I know my cat is very excited about Bahamut too.
If you have a full board, that's a fucking ton of mana value that you're just dropping on each opponent. Oh my god.
Yeah, I mean, it's 9 to cast. If you get this off and it stays out, that's the thing with any of these. It has to stay out, and I'm just guarantee you, in a commander game, these things die. All the summons they're like, they're creatures.
Nope, that's gonna nuke us.
No, please no.
Yep. Well, on 4 turns is a long time to stay out because it's 4, and then you got 3. So that's 12 basically turns for this thing to live.
Let's read, real quickly. At the beginning of your instep, if Yuna's out, return up to 1 target enchantment card from your graveyard to the battlefield with finality. You can immediately so you don't even have to pass the 9. You can just pull this out of your graveyard if they kill it with her.
Right.
Back out, and they have to deal with it again.
Yep.
And then I believe that in the commander version, there is one card that was previewed. I think it might be Yuna's commander card. And it lets you put any number of counters on it when it comes back into play.
Well, then this one, too, when it comes into play, is with a finality counter. So then it goes back out as exile. So then you can call it back from exile.
Yeah, you can do a bunch of crazy stuff.
Like 3 times you got to deal with Bahamut, potentially.
Yeah, it's crazy. 11 is one I don't know, but Absolute Virtue is dumb.
That's really funny because I read up on this one. I was like, why are people freaking out about this? Like, this was a world boss that couldn't be beat except for a fucking glitch. It was meant to never be beat, and they glitched it to beat it.
It said supposedly took 30 hours or something.
Yes, exactly. Of the top players, and they somehow kited it out to a place where these wizards were on top of ramparts outside of this building where it couldn't reach them, and it just fucking rained down fiery death until it finally died. And then they patched it out, that glitch or whatever. It was meant to die.
This one is 8 mana, white, 6 white and a blue. This spell can't be countered, so it's hitting the table. It has flying, and when you have it, you have protection from each of your opponents.
That's fucking wild.
I mean,
can't be dealt damage.
It doesn't, so they have to deal with it, and it has no evasion of any kind. It can just be killed. But still, until someone figures out how to deal with this thing, they can't do anything to you. You can't be targeted by anything controlled by your opponent. They can't deal damage to you. It's dumb.
Yeah, it's really crazy.
It's hilarious.
And then we also
I see this in Commanders. Yeah.
Sorry, good.
I feel like this is Commander cards. Someone's going to do something with Commander with that thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and Dragoon's Wyvern just creates a hero. They had to show something very vanilla, finally. Because everything's had so much flavor, and they're just like, no, here's just a simple common. It's just a 2/1 Drake that creates a 1/1 hero when it comes in. So, cool.
But then we're coming up to the part that shocked me in its brevity.
Just, 1 12 card.
What the fuck?
Good 12 card.
Balthier and Fron, and that was it. They were moving on. What the hell?
I don't know. I think this isn't the only 12 card, I'm sure.
No, it can't be.
There's actually not that many characters. I think there's only...
Right, but there's enough that you think that they are each going to get one.
I think so. I think they'll do Vaughn and Pinello together. Yeah. I have a hard time seeing if they'll do any of the others together. You could make the stretch for Ash and Bosch. kind of.
Yeah, that makes that would make sense actually if they were all doubles or all on
because there's an even number and they kind of all have pairings.
Yeah, exactly.
I
love this human rabbit, even though
human rabbit.
Balthier not a rabbit. He's a pirate, isn't he?
Well, he's human.
Well, okay, that's true. Yep.
That's why, but it should be human rabbit pirate. They should have pirate on. He needs to be a pirate. But I'm getting every version of this card.
Of course you are.
Yeah, of course I am. They previewed a bunch of different arts in the thing. The neat thing about the art that's shown here on this preview thing is it's Akihiko Yoshida's art.
And do you think
it's the artist from 12? It's the artist from 12.
Do you think it's new art for this card, or do you think they're just using art from the game?
I have to look that up.
Because it looks so much like the game art that, obviously it's the same artist, but I wondered, because they went out of their way to talk to a bunch of the artists throughout this panel.
Yeah. And
talk about them drawing new stuff, but they didn't spend any fucking time on 12, which is irritating to me because I really like that game.
Let's see, I'm just looking at the art again real quickly.
But these two, it's going to be a fucking vehicle deck.
It's total vehicles. I'll make a vehicle deck. Let's do this. Sky Pirate. You have to believe that somewhere in here is there's at least a couple airships.
Oh, hell yes, there are.
They haven't shown any, but there are some pretty famous airships throughout the series.
The Invincible from Final Fantasy 3.
Yep.
That's what I've got right now.
And 14. I think that's also the Invincible, I'm pretty sure.
Okay. They raised 14, it. So.
14 has, I think Sid is on the Invincible in 14. And they also have 8 has the Ragnarok, which there's also, I think 14 also has a Ragnarok. There's a number of just very named airships, and I there has to be a cycle of them, and I'm like, yep, and they probably all fit into a Balthier and Fron deck.
Exactly.
Actually, just doing a quick look, I can't find that art, so I think it's new.
Okay, I would hope so, but they didn't say anything about it, so I was like, I don't know if it is.
It'd be really cool if they had him do art for an alternate art for all the 12 characters.
Yeah.
Because he did the character designs for all of them originally. So, yeah. So I wish there had been more, but I have my hopes up that we'll get a few more things from there. And like I said, I still hold that I bet they're going to pair the characters up just to have less total number of cards. But I do still think we're going to have Gabranth, a judge card.
Oh yeah,
they're just going to do that iconic design. I've said it before.
The design deserves it alone,
Yeah, and it's like when they talked about they went through and created tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 things for each of the games, and tier 1 was like, hey, these are the things that are the most iconic from the game. Like people when you say that Final Fantasy, whatever number to them, this is what they say back. And I'm like, well, you say 12, people are going to judges. That's probably up there with Balthier. I don't even know if Balthier and Fron. I think Fron is up there. And Balthier's right next to it. Sexy bunny lady. Come on.
Yep. It's a given.
It is a given. But the judge was the logo for the game. I just expect that that is going to be one that's there. I don't know if it will be named Gabranth, or if it will just be Judge or something along those lines. But either way, I guarantee we'll get it. But I'm sure there will be more previews for 12. But we did get some 13 stuff, some love there. The lightning is really cool.
The art is beautiful.
Yeah, and there's an alternate art of it that's incredible. I'd have to find it. There's a full the full art is done by a really cool one of Square's artists did a new version. I'm like, I want that. She's also a really stupid commander as well.
I love her abilities here. First strike, trample, lifelink. Then she has stagger's a mechanic from the game, apparently. So
Yep.
her stagger, whenever lightning deals combat damage to a player, until your next turn, if a source would deal damage to that player or a permanent the player controls, it's double damage instead, which is such a great nod to what stagger really is.
Yeah.
God, that's
Have
great.
you caught on to the ridiculous part of this?
Let me think. I guess
Why
not.
that second ability is really dumb.
Well, in a 4-player, you're setting someone up to get fucking stomped by everyone else in the
You're setting up to get stomped by your own stuff immediately because she has first strike.
Oh,
she's gonna hit. She's gonna hit before most of your other stuff.
Oh fuck! I didn't even catch
which will
that.
turn that on, and everything else that's doing normal combat damage is going to be doubled if she gets through.
Oh my god!
And she tramples.
Well, but she's got to get through. Okay, so Let's see here. She has to get through to the player. So if she has trample that gets through the player, that trample damage is still counted as first strike?
Yeah, because she trampled, because all her damage is done at first strike. Timing.
Damn.
Yes. That's why she is ridiculous.
That's why she's mythic.
That's why they have a lot of mythic cards. But then, I've played some 13. I've tried so hard. I'll be honest. I just can't do the thing of being like, it really gets good 40 hours in. And I'm like, getting to that mark is really boring.
Yeah, right.
But I have met Fang, I've met Vanille, and I've met Fang. I never had Fang as a party member yet. I think that's when it gets good, is when Fang becomes a party member. And that's cool. It's very thematic, but they get the meld mechanic, which hasn't been seen in a while. But you flip them over, and you have to have them both on the table, and then you meld them, and they flip over, and they're both halves to a double-sized creature.
I thought they said this was the first time they've ever done meld.
No. There's two angels from... There's a bunch of cards from Shadow of Innistrad that did it. There's 2 angels that melded until Eldrazi. There was it's a real... Yeah, this was not the first time. This is the first time in a long time since they've done it. But no, this isn't the first time. I know those angels because they're really good. I own half of them. Half of it.
The meld?
Yeah, I have half the meld because I use the angel for a different deck. I don't care about the other one. But no, this is just this makes a big, giant creature that has vigilance, minutes. It's Ragnarok, Divine Deliverance. There's a word that's used through Final Fantasy. Vigilance, minutes, trample, reach, haste. All those things, and it's a 7/6. And when it dies, you get to destroy target permanent and destroy any target permanent you want on the board, and then return any non-legendary permanent from your graveyard to the battlefield. Just because. It's real good.
God, it has so much you can do with that.
It is, and it needs to be good, because you have to have both of these characters on the board at the same time. And
pay a lot to meld them.
It's a payoff, and it's a good payoff. But yeah, that was all the 13 they showed. It was cool, lightning, I expected.
Yep.
Wasn't expecting a meld, but it works. It fits, I think, from the story standpoint. Then we get 14, and they showed a chunk of 14 stuff, but I feel like there's going to be a lot more 14 stuff when it comes out. They showed Zodiark, 5 black mana. I don't know where this is being. It's really powerful. I'm just it's 5 black mana. That's
indestructible.
So much. Yep, it's a god, which makes sense. When Zodiark enters, each player sacrifices half the non-god creatures they control, rounded down.
That's crazy.
And then when a player sacrifices a creature, put a +1/+1 counter on Zodiark. So it's not a 5/5. It's in a commander game. This would come down, and it'd probably be a 10/10 at minimum. Indestructible 10/10.
So what do you do to counter an indestructible? Obviously you can counter it when they're playing it. You can dispel it or whatever, but...
You can use edicts, so sacrifice effects. You can tell a player they have to sacrifice a creature.
But wouldn't the sacrifice make something be destroyed?
No, not sacrifice. Is it not sacrifice? No, that gets around... You can. What gets rid of Indestructible? Minus toughness.
Okay.
If its toughness is ever 0, then it's actually destroyed.
Interesting.
That's how you can get rid of indestructible creatures.
Yeah.
Sorry, targeting would be if it had hexproof. That's how you have to get around hexproof. You need to make the opponent have to sack something, or have a card effect that doesn't target a creature. So you could have something that's like deals 13 damage to all creatures. The Blasphemous Act would do it because you're not targeting it specifically. It's just a board effect. On hexproof for indestructible, yeah, you just need to be able to like get its toughness to nothing. And there's a card that came out in. No, sorry, that didn't get rid of indestructible. That got rid of hexproof and ward. I don't know. I'm sure there's other ways. It's Magic. There's 25,000 cards.
Yeah.
So, there's probably something in there that says remove indestructible from a card or
right.
But yeah, we get another equipment, a Summoner's Grimoire. It's the thing that's like, hey, creates one of those heroes. Whenever this creature attacks, you may put a creature card from your hand onto the battlefield. It is also tapped and attacking.
That's
you don't have to pay. Card. You just
throw it down.
Card. Just boom, it's attacking. So,
and boom, I've got this creature card that costs 10 mana that I can put on here for free.
Yep, that's what you want. Yep. Hey, we got a Saga creature as the next one. Maybe you put this on the table attacking. Primal Odin.
This
Saga,
one's
summon.
Great.
Step 2. 1. Yeah, step 2 is insane.
Step 2 is insane.
1, destroy target creature and opponent rolls. Cool. That's great. You paid 6 mana. You got to destroy something. It's a lot. It's steep. 2. Whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, that player loses the game. Everyone should be terrified of Primal Odin.
You want to get rid of Primal Odin as soon as possible.
And then it's 3 is like, whatever. If you get some card draw and every
I thought that was funny, because number 2 seems like it should be the ultimate chapter on this saga, but Jesus.
Yeah, it's dumb. A Primal Odin on 2 is going to be a fearful sight. Yeah, we get Emmett Selk, who also has a commander version. Who loves to play cards from your graveyard. Makes spells cast from your graveyard cost 2 less.
But he doesn't allow you to cast spells from your graveyard. You need something else.
No, but there's a bunch of you need some. Well, that's not true. Whenever one or more opponents lose life, you may cast target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard.
Oh, there you go. Yep.
So, make an opponent lose life, and then you're free to just cast spells out of your graveyard. Except when you cast them, they just get exiled, not back to your graveyard. So, but then there's other things, like there's a bunch of magic effects over the history, and it's still very much in standard that lets you play cards from your graveyard. Like they have alternate casting abilities. If this is in your graveyard, you can play this, and so he'll reduce those costs as well. Like, yes, Emmett Selk. I'm very happy to have him back. Another game they went by pretty quickly. 15.
That's the first Final Fantasy game I ever beat. They were like, "Yep, here's Noctis, bye." In Arden too. Sorry,
in Arden, which I'm like, "Yep, that's who you're going to show." And Noctis gets, like they said, his whole thing was like building these the ancestral weapons, casting them to himself. So now that's what he does. You pull artifacts from your graveyard by paying life. I think in Standard you'll never do this. In Commander, there's probably a really cool Commander artifact deck around him where you have 40 life. You can spend some life to just pull back big artifacts from your graveyard.
Yeah. I feel like
the whole deck about just dumping artifacts into your graveyard.
Well, I feel like anything else from this game would be like Prompto and Ignis and the other guy.
Oh, they previewed Gladius.
Gladius, okay.
A while on Gladiolus's birthday.
Oh, interesting. Because I was going to say, it would make sense to put those 3 on one card and kind of move on.
Yeah. So since they did the initial thing before Christmas and showed some stuff, as the year's gone on, they've let Square Enix preview cards on character birthdays.
Oh my god, that's crazy.
And so there's been a Gladiolus was one of the first ones, and Zell from Final Fantasy VIII was previewed that way. What else? I think there was one other one as well that got previewed that way. Shantoto got from 11.
Oh yeah, okay.
Was previewed as like it's their birthday. But yeah, Gladiolus is a landfall. 4 red and a green. When Gladiolus enters, search your library for a land card and put it onto the battlefield, tapped, then shuffle. So there's another way to get extra land onto the battlefield. In landfall, whenever a land you control enters, another target creature you control gets +2/+2 and gains trample. Put him with Tifa.
Hell yeah.
Because he can put the 2/2 on Tifa. His landfall can be triggered first to put the 2/2 on Tifa, and then her landfall can trigger to double her power.
Anything to put Tifa in. That sounds
yeah, you could. I'm like, yep, Gladiolus is meant to help pay off that Tifa deck. So yeah, that's there, and then we got 16.
Oh my god, Ben Starr is like, and we finally arrived.
I don't want to say, yeah, he was so excited. And he had a shirt that had the Clive card.
Oh my god,
on it, which is
I
great.
Finally take off this fucking overshirt. I'm so hot up here.
Yeah. So I want to say, no one has to believe me on this. People at work will though. When they showed summons back in the first preview a long time ago, I'm like, how would they do 16? I'm like, I told 2 coworkers when we were chatting about it, I'm like, wouldn't it be cool if their dominance, they need to prime, and so they're double-sided, and their summon saga creatures are on the backside. And they flip.
That's exactly what happened.
And it was exactly what happened. I was like, I'm not that good, but holy cow. But I mean, it just feels natural.
It just makes so much sense.
Yeah, I'm not a genius or anything in that way, Guard, I'm saying. It's just, I'm like, if you look at what Magic has available to it, that is the most, like, intuitive way to make this feel like how summons work in 16.
Well, it's so cool. Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I say it's so cool because you exile it and return to the battlefield. Like, your back is Jill. Like, duh.
Yeah.
Your back is fucking Clive. Yeah, of course you are. Oh my god, it's so great.
It's just, it's perfect. I love the Jill art so much.
It's so good. It's so good.
And they chose with her like flipping into Shiva. Honestly, it's just the flavor text. They chose the correct line. I will be your monster no more. I'm just like, yeah, they chose such good for this and for Clive as well. I love Clive flipping into Ifrit and then just generating a bunch of mana to just punch people. I just love it. It flips and it's like it fights. It's a 9/9 that fights. It's killing whatever it fights. It just is. Just like Ifrit just comes in and punches something real hard.
It's so true to the game where he just comes in and just fucking goes to town. Absolutely. Yeah. Oh my god.
It's so good. I was so happy with that. I'm like, and it was interesting where they mentioned that, which makes sense, that this game 16 wasn't out. Like they hadn't played 16 when they started making this set. Like they talked about like the design team being like they just got the game and they had like a weekend to play it.
Yep.
So they could understand what they needed to do because they had reserved just a few cards for 16. I don't think we're getting a lot more 16 cards. I
don't think so either.
I'm expecting a Torgal probably.
Oh god, you're right.
Why wouldn't they?
Well, I mean, we already know there's a Sid from 16.
Yeah,
so.
But unfortunately, the Sid is the same Sid. Yeah. Across all the so you don't get the priming Sid. You don't get to get Ramu Sid, and I don't think they'll do that. But they might. I could see them doing the other dominance and stopping there.
Well, you gotta have Joshua, right? In the Phoenix.
Yeah. You probably have Joshua. I'm like, you have Joshua. You have Garuda. And then you have
what's the guy's name? The boy. The prince who turned into something else, who came at, what was his name? The one that you really liked where I was like, oh shit, he's coming to save help. God.
Oh yeah.
His fucking name. It's like Dom.
He's Bahamut though.
Was he Bahamut?
Wow.
I fucking remember very little details about the story, apparently.
Wasn't that the prince that, he's...
Damien? Not Damien. Ugh. But he's got to have a card, I would think.
Yeah, I feel like they would do all the dominants. There's not that many of them.
They're going to give Clive's silly uncle a fucking card.
Oh, that'd be hilarious. There's Joshua, Sid, Jill, Torgal, Dion.
Dion, thank you. Jesus.
Yeah, he's the...
Was he Bahamut?
He's Bahamut.
Okay.
And I feel like they would give him Bahamut.
Yeah, me too.
Hugo is Titan. Benedicta. That's kind of where I feel. I'm like, it's Benedicta, Hugo, Joshua, Dion.
Yeah.
Maybe Torgal will be thrown in just for fun.
But those, I feel like those dominant cards are pretty powerful because you can just flip them back over and then go again.
Yeah, I mean, they have to live. They have to live.
Yeah, right.
I think they're neat. I think they're generally well balanced, though. They're not cheap to flip typically to Prime. I'm trying to think. So this was the blue and the red. If we did Joshua's Phoenix, he'd probably be white. Hugo as Titan. Titan would probably be green. And would that leave Benedicta to be black?
Oh, yeah, I think she'd be black.
I could see them doing one for each color and then calling that good. Which would be cool, but maybe they don't. And that was all the games, and of course they did a Chocobo.
Of course they did, and they are cute.
They did a Chocobo, and then there's like, hey, if you get collector's boosters, there's all the color of Chocobo. You can get the same traveling Chocobo card in your yellow, green, blue, red, and then black.
So is the black one always in Japanese?
Yes.
Oh, that one's just showing the Japanese one.
Maybe? I didn't know it was that or if it was always in Japanese.
Yeah.
Because they made the black one specifically for one of the Japanese creators.
Right, and the way they talked about that, and the way they showed it, like English card, English card, English card, English card, Japanese card, I'm like, it's always
It's
Japanese.
not the first time. They've done it in like Foundations and newer sets where they've done a few cards in collector's boosters that are only Japanese.
That's cool. I like that.
And then you get the serialized cards of the set, which is the Traveling Chocobo in gold.
And this is why the number of our episode matters.
I know.
477, and there are 77 of these Chocobos, which means we're going to get one of them.
Oh, exactly. Yeah, out of the few boxes that we get. I mean, actually, no, I'm not going to get one of these because I'm not getting a collector booster.
I'm not getting collector boosters either. I mean, I might buy one every once in a while.
There's like $600 right now for a
box. I may buy a pack every once in a while. But,
yeah, I'm like, no, I can't do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the card. It's like the serialized cards is like the ultimate gamble, or you're buying it for investment at that point and using this as like some Magic cards as some form of investing.
Right.
I do not recommend doing that, but
no,
there's 77 of these, or it could have been like the One Ring. There was one serialized One Ring,
which they found like almost immediately, right?
They did find it, and the person that got it, Post Malone, paid them millions of dollars for it.
That's right. It was Post Malone.
And he's like, I will pay you. I don't remember. It was a couple million, I thought, or at least $1 million for that card. And the person's like, yes, take it.
You're welcome to have it. I love Magic.
I will invest those real money dollars.
Exactly.
And then the SIDS. They showed all the SIDS. Thing says the 14 faces of Sid. It's actually 15 faces of Sid.
Right.
Because Sid has been in 2 to 16.
Well, in the Pixel remaster, they put Sid in, but that doesn't count here.
Did they?
And yeah.
I
they
didn't
put
know
a character named Sid.
That's funny.
But it's fucking what's the word for it? Retro? No, that's not it. Oh my god, there's a word for it where you put something back in the lore, back in
retroactive.
No, it's not the right word. But anyway, they did that in the Pixel remaster. I was like, "What? Sid's here?" And I think whoever I was on the podcast with was like, "Yeah, but that wasn't in the original one." Like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
So number 2 was the original.
And I don't need all the Sids, but they're kind of cute. Sid, Timeless Artificer. The funny thing is, it's the same card. There's just 15 different arts from 2 to 16. They all have the same text, and they all like boost heroes. So I guess you can make some weird use the equipment that you're getting and make a bunch of hero tokens, and artifact creatures and heroes you control get +1/+1 for each artificer you control and each artificer card in your graveyard. Sid's an artificer. But he also has the line, a deck can have any number of cards named Sid.
I think that's wild. So
It's
for
hilarious.
Commander, where you can only have one of each card, you could have fucking 15 Sids.
Oh yeah. You can make a Sid deck. I'm sure you can have fun making a Sid deck in Commander. Yeah. And the thing is, these are uncommon. Any card that they've ever put, your deck can have any number of these, are so expensive. Like, this will be like a $4 or $5.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah. And you're just like, but I want a lot of them. And you're like, yeah, I'm going to pay a lot for these. I don't want all of them. Actually, I only care about, I want 7 Sid, 12 Sid, and 14 and 16. That's
I want 16, I want 7, I want 12, I want 15. I really like 15 Sid.
Oh, yeah, 15 was neat.
Yeah.
I wonder if they're going to have a mid anywhere in here.
Dude, there's no fucking... I will bet you like $100.
There has to be a mid, right? Somewhere.
Yes, just for the art.
Yeah.
Holy shit, man.
Or I guess she wasn't mid in 15. She was... Cindy?
Oh, what's this? Oh, you're right.
They didn't go with mid for some reason. I was like, now knowing that, I'm like, that's weird. They should have just gone...
Not Sally. Yeah, Cindy. Maybe it was Cindy.
I think it was Cindy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm like, yes.
Give us a
we're almost done here.
16, man.
Yeah. We're almost done here, because then they're also doing these other thing, which is... do you understand what a bonus sheet is?
I don't.
Okay, so these will be in normal boosters and everything. They've done this in a few sets. And it's effectively... a separate... So cards are printed in sheets and cut. So they make a separate sheet that is unique cards with unique set symbols, and then they just slide them in as a bonus every once in a while in PAX. They are not standard legal. They are not anything special. I'm collecting one of the Strixhaven, which is basically magical school set, but they did a bonus sheet that was all these like iconic spells with incredibly cool art, and I've just been slowly getting all of them. But so for Final Fantasy, the bonus sheet they're throwing in here is it has no framing on it. It's just full arts of concept art from Final Fantasy, like iconic concept art. But they're not like, so the 9 is a concept art for Zidane, but it's actually like Ragavan. It's Ragavan. It's a magic card, and they're doing this they're doing Amano's Furion art as another different magic card. A lot of Amano stuff here.
Yeah, the Imperial City of Arcades, which is the Wall
12.
of Omens.
Yeah,
dude, you want that one? I know it.
I do want that one, and it's cool. It's just an iconic piece of art. Reading about knowledge of the game, that was like the first piece of a concept art released for 12.
Oh wow!
And Square used that as a recruiting piece for other artists to come work at Square. Like that piece of art is very meaningful. So they're doing a whole bunch of those. Usually they are 60-ish cards total.
Oh wow!
Okay. Again, these are all just reprints of old cards in some ways.
It almost feels like a Secret Lair idea.
It is. It's kind of like that, but Secret Lair you can find in PAX.
Yeah, sure.
And some of these are going to be really expensive. I'm sure every Amano one is going to be so expensive.
I really want that Furion Swordmaster one.
It's cool. It's a great piece of art.
Dude, fucking playing through these fucking pixel remasters is just like what a perfect time to do this. It's great. The Cloud Sea Jin from Final Fantasy 1. Like, I know that. This is great. Arcades, I know that. Furion, I know that. Fucking Zidane, I'm playing 9 right now. I know that. Like, this is great. Sign me up, man. There goes my money.
Yeah, it really is. There's been a bunch more previewed. I think we can stop there. But the base lands, they previewed the basic lands. If you go, I don't have a good way to do it. If you go to the second link that I sent you, the empty
MTG
goldfish, scroll down before it gets to Neon Ink. There's a header for Neon Ink, the Chocobos, right up from the Chocobos.
Oh,
and they have
hell
all
yeah.
the full arts.
Surge foils. Is that what you're talking about?
No, I'm talking about just the full art. Oh, maybe
the Surge foils are full art land.
Sure. They don't have to be in Surge foils, but...
There's a Chocobo Forest for the forest.
Yeah, they're all from different games. They're like...
Oh, Seventh Heaven for the Plains? Oh, hell yes.
And the other one is Giza Plains from 12.
Oh, man.
And the Plains are perfect for you. And then it's 15. Pushing the car in 15.
Perfect. Oh my god, yes.
You're white. You're just
Those
white.
are my... Yep, exactly.
But it's cool. I'm just like, okay, I'm going to need probably like 10 of every full art land here.
Oh my god.
Just to have these, because why would I use any other full art land?
You want the full themed deck. Like, you gotta have it. There's the alternative Balthier and Fran
I love the alternate look.
Ooh, that's too good.
There's such good art. Like,
oh, there's the neon. I see what you're saying. Okay, yeah. Oh, wow, there's a lot more basic lands than on the below. Oh, hell yes. Let's see here.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, there's the car. Oh, yeah, the Giza Plains. That's right.
Yep.
Ooh, my God, man. Give this to me.
Yeah.
We're so fucked. Our families are so fucked. There goes all of our money for food. Just buying Final Fantasy fucking Magic cards.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to be honest. My main way of doing this is going to be I'm getting all the commander decks.
Yep.
I'm getting I have gift cards and some money saved up, so I'm getting 2 booster boxes,
nice,
a bundle, and the starter. That's it. And then from then on out, I'm just buying singles to finish up my set as I go.
Yeah, that's smart.
And I'm not looking to get. This is for me. I'm not looking to get one every card of every treatment. I want every card in the set. I just need one art treatment of every card.
Yeah.
So I don't like the Balthier and Fran. I'm probably going to get all the art treatments if I can get them. But like lightning, I just want one art treatment of light. There's a specific lightning card that I want. There's a specific Clive card that I want. Things like that, where I'm just like, nope, that's enough. I don't need to hunt down every version of every card. Just as long as I have one version of every card, I'll be happy.
What I have pre-ordered is commander decks for everything except for 14. I have just ordered a booster box. I've got 2 preview. Is it called pre-release?
Yeah, I'm going to pre-release. That's true.
Nice.
I'm doing that as well.
My daughter and I are going. She's very excited. And then I got. I don't think it's a gift bundle, but it's one that comes with a box that you can store your cards in.
That's a bundle. That's just a normal bundle. There is the gift bundles that are happening. I guess that's true. I have 2 gift bundles coming later in June.
There you go. My neighbor got a gift bundle. I was like, I'm already getting a bundle. I don't know if I need a gift bundle.
Gift bundles come with collector boosters.
Ah, fuck.
They don't come with all collectors. They come with like 2 collector boosters and like 6.
Okay.
Regular booster and some other promo. They haven't given a lot of information on them. Exactly. They just said they come with these things, and there's some promo in there.
Yeah. And then I got the starter decks. I got 2 starter decks.
Yes.
One for me and one for my daughter, so we don't have to choose who we want. You can just have Sephiroth and Cloud deck, and I can have the same. And then go to town, man. And I'm gonna get a play mat. At least I just got a new Dragon play mat. I was trying to hold out till Final Fantasy, but I needed a new one. Because my old one is trashed, basically. But if they have a Tifa one, I mean, I gotta get it.
Yeah, I haven't actually heard of any.
Fucking card sleeve.
Wizards doesn't make them.
No, it's like Ultra Pro or whatever. Yeah.
Ultra Pro, I think, is usually the one that. And I'm curious. I wonder if Ultra Pro has announced anything yet.
Fucking need some Tifa sleeves. I need some fucking.
Oh jeez. You could use, I don't know. There's places where like Dragon Shield will custom make you sleeves. You can design your own sleeves.
Oh, who does that?
Dragon Shield sleeves do
Oh
that.
shit, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I'm like, I have a Final Fantasy 12 like the Judge logo.
Yeah.
That I'm like, will they print this for me? Because I hope they do.
Well, I'm going to be printing those. I need to do it soon. The Zelda variants of, or whatever. I think you sent me them, right? The Zelda Magic cards. So if they can do a sleeve, I mean, my daughter would love that.
Yeah, they totally would be able to do that. But yeah, oh my god, I can't believe we are so close to this. We are.
It's really, dude. It's Switch 2, and it's these Magic cards in the same fucking 3 days because of the pre-release. You know.
Yeah.
Fucking hell. I'm so glad that I have saved up money and I'm getting fancy money at the end of May. That my college just didn't pay me, and I finally figured out. Wait a second, you owe me like $6,000. So it couldn't come at a better time. So
trade it for some Final Fantasy cards.
Yeah, can you just pay me in Final Fantasy cards?
Fantasy cards.
Really oh my god.
Yeah,
I don't see any Final Fantasy sleeves or mats.
I assume they're gonna have them at some point. I would think. Weirdly, I have. So it's not sleeve. I do have Final Fantasy sleeves because there's a Final Fantasy TCG that I have cards for, and they've Square made accessories for it. So I have a like Yuna and Tidus playmat.
But are they the same size?
I don't know. They're normal playmat size. Like I have them on next to all my other playmats, and they're within an inch of the size of anything else.
I went to a Magic store and bought like several sleeves, and that got home and they were the wrong size. I'm like, I should have read.
Oh, sure. Yeah, no, the actual sleeve. Oh, sorry. The playmats are normal playmat size. Sleeves are normal card. Like a Final Fantasy TCG card is the same size as a Magic card.
Okay, that's what I meant.
The sleeves that I have, I have the Final Fantasy 12 sleeves, and I have Final Fantasy 10 sleeves. Yeah,
that's good.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean that's true. There are sleeves for Final Fantasy stuff already. If you hunt online enough. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm really excited. Holy cow. I don't even know. But tomorrow we're going to get a bunch more previews. So
that's exciting. That's really cool.
12th. 1, 2, 3 places. Oh no, all the commander decks come out tomorrow.
Oh, like all cards from all.
Yeah, from Wizards themselves are going to preview all of the commander decks tomorrow, and I think put up all the deck lists all at once. So you'll get to see everything that's in each of the decks. That's cool. It is cool. And then there's like 4 or 5 different places doing previews tomorrow of different things.
We're just ramping up, man. This is great.
Yeah, it is crazy. And that will go until the 30th, when the card image gallery will be fully released. So the week, the Friday before pre-releases start. Yep. Then everyone will know all the cards if you want. So
why do they have a global release of June 13th and then do a pre-release a week before? I know they do it for all their sets, but why do they do
that? For stores, it's a like it is a nice thing that just helps the local stores because
that's the only place you get it is the local store.
Stores that run the tournaments. Yeah, and as much as it is a cash cow for them, they still view it as a social game and want to make sure people have places to play and play with each other and in groups and create community. But yeah, that is the benefit being if it's a local gaming store, they can do the pre-releases a week early, and they can sell product a week before any big box store
else
can sell it.
Yeah.
Yep.
That makes a hell of a lot of sense.
It really does. Yeah. Well, cool.
There's so much stuff. So exciting. Yeah. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in to what became Magic the Gathering cast. But go ahead.
Just this one. Maybe not this one, but...
Maybe not just this only one, but there's a huge crossover with video games here, so it's fair game for us to talk about. Soon, we will be doing a Blueprints spoiler cast. We both need to get back to Room 46.
I did get back to Room 46 today.
Oh, shit. So should I get back to Room 46?
Yes, you should.
Okay.
Well, I at least want you should get back, actually be able to explore Room 46, get a couple things from in there.
Okay.
And then we should talk on a thing of like, okay, how much would you want to continue playing the game or not? And it's a good discussion. It's a good place to discuss because you actually will understand what the next steps are at that point.
Right.
And if that's something that interests you or not.
Yeah, I've seen a bunch of spoilers around. Not what the second thing is when you come back to the room, but like what's next. So yeah, we'll definitely chat. But yeah, Final Fantasy coming up, Switch 2 content coming up when I get one of my hands eventually. Yeah, lots of good stuff. So thanks for tuning in. If you like our podcast, please rate it on your podcast service of choice. And let's see here. It's mid. I don't know what's happening next week, but leading up to Summer Game Fest, I'm leading up to Switch 2, leading up to Magic the Gathering. There's a bunch of shit. So
it is
a lot of content coming in the next couple of months. So stay tuned. Rate us on your podcast service of choice, and we will see you next week.
Later, everyone.